All right, Alec, we're here. We're back.
All right, here it
We're
is.
talking about Black Mirror. We're watching Black Mirror.
Back for more pain, I guess, right? That's what's about to happen.
Yeah.
What are you subjecting me to this time?
Last time, the Prime Minister was propositioned to fuck a pig.
Yeah, it
What
was
will
quite
happen
a
next time?
scenario. Hopefully not that. I'm against
Every
that.
episode is like propositioning you to have sex with another thing that you wouldn't want to have sex
That's the
with.
whole
Different
show.
characters. No, these should. This is more. Will give us more in the direction of where the show is.
Which I've always got the impression that it's like technology or something is involved. It's like near future.
Always some sort of futuristic technology element, even when it looks like it could just be our world, but there might be just a little technology element to it.
Yeah.
That's like, okay, so this is futuristic. But I mean, there's dark themes. That's what the first one had. It was kind of dark, but
bold choice for a first episode of a TV show.
Choice.
I will say that very bold.
Yeah. But I probably would have, I think a lot more people would have been inclined to keep going with the show if they watched this episode first or the third episode of the season. And, it is an anthology show. They could have done it in any order, but they decided to do it that way.
Yeah.
They don't want the faint of heart coming into the show, I guess.
I guess
not. You have to survive the pig onslaught before you get in here.
The pig onslaught.
So what you're going to do is you can click the link in the description to see the highlights of a reaction, and you come back afterwards for the discussion. All right, this episode is called 15 Million Merits.
Okay. Well.
Well, there you go. It's episode 2, Black Mirror. 15 Million Merits.
Well, that episode is great. It's very, very Twilight Zone-y kind of ending where it's like you think it's gonna go one way and then it just twists at the end and he gets swept right up into it just like everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of heartbreaking seeing a soul so passionate now crushed that had felt something and now basically pretends to feel things for an audience.
Mm-hmm.
It's rough, man.
It
was really
such a good job of establishing this world and this story and all contained in one episode. Really good. And there's really good writing in this episode. Even clever things like the little apple bit. The whole apple bit where the girl had a crush on him, so she showed him the trick, and then she showed Abby the trick when he had a crush on her, and then he comes up at the end when he's trying to hold on to his credits or his merits and save them as much as he can. He uses that trick again.
Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of really good, clever things that happened throughout the episode. I mean, that to me was just really fun, clever writing. I think it's interesting seeing. It trickles you with information, like world building information, so that when it finally sort of explains it, it doesn't explain it in a way that's like, this is exactly why this is the way it is. It is sort of organically kind of informs you as to what's going on. Mm-hmm. Like this adult entertainer guy who leads this porn empire. Apparently he's the reason why you get all these ads. It's like, oh, okay, well he's on the biggest show in the whole world, basically, or whatever the society is boiled down to.
This is is this is this the whole world? Is this one little country city? That's what's
it's
cool about it. There's still a lot of mystery to it. There's still a lot of questions. Because there's only so much you can see in one episode.
And it's great because it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. It's not that part of the story. That the world building that we know that we've received is all the stuff that's important for telling the story, which I think is really great. Because you can sort of you can let your mind fill in the blanks for the rest of it. And it doesn't really matter all that much because the core of the story is really about something else entirely. So,
well, the mystery almost adds to it because it's you don't even know what, is there a greater reason for any of this or, we're assuming that the outside is fake that he's looking at. But it's like, so who's above him? Who's above that person? Like, there's so many questions why this system is like this now. But
Right, like who's this? Like, do the corporations run everything, or is it like a weird, like, they run the whole state? They seem to have indicated that, oh, you have to do your part for humanity and running the bike. So it's like that's like the energy resource that we use now is just people.
but it's like they say that it could all
Yeah,
be fake. It all could be,
yeah,
because
that could
so
be
much of it
fake.
is
Yeah, that could all
already
be.
propaganda they're using on them.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. It's an interesting, like, the tool of advertising is in this, which is shockingly, eerily similar to how advertising actually works in reality, which is like by repeatedly bombarding you with the same information, you essentially program into people's minds of like, oh, I want that, or oh, I'm gonna that's something that's attractive to me. Um,
And they
yeah,
drill this
it's
repetition of just like a monotonous lifestyle on this bike. That's all they do. So then they get these
yeah,
ads where it's like, oh, you can look at me. I love gold. I love wearing gold. And you can't do that until you get to where I am, basically. And it's like
yeah.
advertising. You go through these shows and stuff. And it's like, oh, spend 15 million merits to go to this. And it's like, what's real? It's like, is there actually...
Yeah, and that's why, and that, to me, the slow burn to the speech at the climax of the story is just like that's just perfection, man. That's storytelling perfection right there. It's he To me, what made him so effective was the subtlety. It was this, his acting was so damn good in this episode. You don't have to like act your pants off in order to be effective, in order to be relatable. We get to know him without him basically hardly saying anything, and you get that through just the how the character acts, how he's able to just, we get what he's about, we get what he cares about, and we get why he's striving to do what he's doing at the point that it happens. And that's why it's, when he sees what happens to his friend, who he's seen beauty, he's felt something for the first time, like in his whole life, basically. And when that gets taken away, is like he has to say something about it. And so it's just this slow build up to the speech at the end, and it's just so great. And the whole tragedy, obviously, of the story is that that's commoditized. Even they're able to manipulate him from that.
Yes, I want to think of the actor's name right. It's Daniel Kaluuya.
Kaluuya, yeah, that's it.
So yeah, he was in Black Panther. He was in Get Out.
Get Out
is what he's known for. But yeah, he's so good because he does the subtle things where it's like, even just the fact you can tell how miserable he is most of the time, and you just get the glimmer of a little difference once he sees Abby, and then just that speech at the end that's awesome.
Yeah,
really good.
It was awesome. I was almost crying. It was so good.
It's like, how do you even do that? Like, that had to be a one take thing, right? Like, you can't just keep replicating that.
No, because that took literally everything out of him to do.
Yeah, just dripping and sweat and just veins popping everywhere. But yeah, they hit you with the fake out of like, oh, like they're actually hearing him now. But then he did. It's like the Judge Hope did his typical thing. I was like, that was, without a doubt, the most heartfelt thing I've seen on this stage since Hot Shots began.
It's like, ugh. It's so revolting. It's so revolting. It's and that kudos to the writing. You made reprehensible people, but it's like it's horrifyingly realistic, though. Like that's the thing about it, that it's like it is sort of maybe a step further than like what we necessarily see in reality, but it's to a point where it's like, I can see that.
Well,
I can
it's different than what we see in reality, but you can see reality, like where these people are forced on these bikes every day, for someone's going to take advantage of that. And you have this Wraith guy who, like, all the judges and whoever is overhead clearly manipulates people like
Yeah.
nonstop. Like this girl Abby, she's like almost forced into this thing. Like she's pressured so much into it.
By the judges, by the public, who apparently are all horrible deviants as well.
Not only immediate sexism from the jump. I mean, it's like before she even did her performance, he was like, "Let me see my titties."
Yeah. It's just like, dang.
And then after that, he's like, "Yeah, that was good, but it's not special. I mean, let's just you're beautiful, so we'll use that. You're sexy."
Yeah.
As well.
It's like yeah, and it's like then they just turn her into just another object to be consumed.
Suicide. They really built that little relationship up, that budding relationship between Bing and Abby. They did it really well. It was all cute, and they had the cute music. They built it up so much so that it's like this hurt even more because he just spent 15 million merits just to get her a chance at this.
Yeah,
and now it's like worst
case
scenario.
I mean, you knew from that something was obviously going to go wrong, but I mean, just because it's like this world is so horrible and clearly crushing to everyone that like that act of kindness is not going to go anywhere, So it's like, yeah.
So what actually was in this Cuppliance, by the way,
I don't know.
Was it? Because
I don't know.
It's not something that just makes you agree to things. Because Bing ended up agreeing to do it, even though he didn't drink it.
Yeah.
So it's like he subverted that, so he didn't have to take the Cuppliance, but he ended up complying.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Because there must have been just
to mellow them out. Like maybe if he took that, he wouldn't have.
He wouldn't have been as impassioned, maybe.
Yeah. But you think from an entertainer, there's got to be some like entertainers that are a little outgoing, but
yeah.
So I don't know exactly what that does, but
yeah, that's sort of a subtle thing where it's like you don't really necessarily know. It's almost like to me, it was almost built up that like the idea is that you're maybe not necessarily. It's not forcing you, but it makes you more agreeable to suggestion. Mm-hmm. So that makes it all the more tragic that he decides to go through with it anyway.
Yeah, well, that's the sad thing is like,
yeah,
you can't even. It's hard to blame him for that position where it's like, yeah, it is better than the bike.
Yeah,
well, am I gonna actually kill myself now, or I could do this and then
maybe I can. And then he maybe convince himself maybe I'm making a difference.
Yeah.
In some way, But
then he just puts on the show,
Yeah.
So it's just the whole message is lost there.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's so much propaganda throughout where like even the, these lemons as the one guy called them. Like they literally have games where you're shooting these people that resemble the employees. Yeah. And I guess those employees come from people that they can't take doing the bike.
They can't take doing the bike, or they're too out of shape or something, so they can't do it. And
is there like a certain threshold you get to?
Yeah.
I don't know how, honestly, you could get. I feel like this world, if anything, would be a world where people wouldn't be out of shape. If like you spend all day on a bike.
Yeah.
It's like it doesn't seem like there's that much to do outside of that world. It's like all he saw was his room, and then the bike. You go to the bike stuff. So it's like, how lazy can you even have room to be in that kind of?
Yeah, I don't know. There must be more to do. There must be more to do to earn money or to earn whatever credits.
But the fact that like she, in the beginning when Abby came in, it said she just turned 21 or whatever. I guess when you turn 21 you come into this place because she knew that her sister went to some other department supposedly full, so it's not like this is all they know. Apparently they came from somewhere to this place.
So maybe it's life. Like when you're sorted in, then like, or when you become 21, that's when you get sorted into like whatever caste or whatever you're in. He was already fit. All the fit people bike, and then I guess all the fat people get janitorial jobs or
but the fat people went to the fat people went to the bike, or the fat guy went to the bike before, and then he ended up being delegated.
Maybe you get to choose. I don't know, but
So
it
it
doesn't.
seems like
Yeah.
if the janitors are like they're supposed to be looked down on. They're
Did
the punishment from like not
did
doing well enough.
did they say that he did they say he went to the bike first? I don't remember.
They showed
Was
him
that
on
at
the
the
bike.
end?
They showed him on the
Oh yeah,
bike,
I guess that's
and that
true.
was the
Yeah,
guy who
that's
was
true.
making fun of.
Yeah.
And then they saw he wasn't there, and then they saw him in
Yeah.
the outfit.
Right. That's right.
So it's like
Yeah.
their punishment. So that's like how they keep them in line, I guess. It's like you don't
Yeah.
want to be like end up like these people. So stick to your biking. But I don't know what is even for these people the ultimate goal. Like, what do they? What does their
What
future look
what are they
like?
striving to?
Yeah.
Well, oh, and they like, but that's the whole thing is that they're all distracted so that they can just keep doing whatever for providing energy or whatever the heck they're even doing.
Is it just whatever's advertised?
Yeah,
Is
just buy
that's like
products.
that's where your career any potential you have is just like that chance of going on hot shots and getting a career from that, or going on something
Or
else.
just yeah, they dangle like treats, but it's byproduct because because you're the product.
Mm-hmm.
Byproduct because you're the product. Yeah.
This illusion of choice when it's like you're just giving them
Yeah.
an ultimatum. It's like, you want to go back to biking, or do you just want to do this thing we'd rather you do? Even though you came here, you auditioned as a singer. It's like, no, you're hot. We're going to use you for this.
Right. So it's like, and the thing is, it's also like, so would you rather go back to the bike, or would you rather we turn you into a product that everyone else is going to consume? Because like you see the guy on the bike, you see the ginger guy's buying like the glass shiv for himself for his avatar, and it's like, oh, it's just like, it's so skeezy and gross. It's great. it's really fascinating commentary on that whole idea of of advertising, of
Mm-hmm.
soulless,
It means
the idea of a soulless corporation essentially, and control over a population, which is essentially like, there's definitely a danger in terms of like commoditizing your life in that way. You lose sight of what's actually important. Why I feel like a lot of I think that they've done studies, and like people are generally a lot more miserable. Young people in particular are on average like way more miserable than like any other generation before. And a lot of it, I think, has to do, I think it's a multifaceted problem, but I think a lot of it has to do with being interconnected. And in being interconnected, we've essentially like so connected with the rest of the world that like all of these corporations that run all of the things that keep us connected, keep us buying products, keep us distracted, I guess, in a way. They're not making us happy. They're catering to us, but in a way that they are turning us into products, right? Our information is being sold so that we can get advertised to. Stuff doesn't make you happy. There's a lot. Obviously, it's like that's a much larger topic to tackle. But I think this is sort of dipping its toe into that conversation. So
yeah. And they do have a lot of different technology that they dip into here, which is cool. Like the rooms that they're in, I think that's pretty cool. The whole fact that it's like monitors all around you, and like these ads pop up all the time. And if you block them, then it starts playing this noise to try to get you to resume viewing. And there's a penalty for skipping the ads. Everything costs something.
Yeah, literally. You suffer, in other words, if you don't watch the ad in some way. You lose money, or whatever it is. What is it called again? You lose merits. Or if you don't have enough to even skip it, it literally physically harms you for you to continue to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, man, what a society, huh?
And like it charges you for little things like water and toothpaste and stuff, But I mean, from what I saw, it was like it's a drop in the bucket. That stuff really, but
Yeah.
because like they can bite that in a second. But then you have crazy stuff like the ticket that costs 15 million by itself.
Yeah.
So you just spend all your time
supposed to be that
working towards that kind of stuff.
An unattainable sort of goal. Yeah.
But even outside of that, they threw in these little bits of like technology they talked about, where she's like, they're talking about a plug-in that makes you look like a werewolf, like all this cosmetic stuff you can get.
Yeah.
And like Wraith mentioned, he was like, "Oh, don't worry about the shame and all that. We have medication for that." It's like,
yeah, so it's like, okay, so drugs and stuff will, yeah.
And Abby talked about like a thing that would go into your dreams and guide you, like a guru or something that would like get your head in the right space or something.
Yeah.
So there's all this different stuff that can alter you, you know. Cuppliance, whatever Cuppliance does.
Cuppliance makes you more agreeable.
But the Hot Shots staff was all miserable.
Yeah.
Like every single one they went to was like rude immediately for no reason. Just like so it's like, damn, it's just shown that's like even when you go into these seemingly better positions, you're still miserable at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So all these
I mean,
people...
heck, even the judges also kind of seem miserable. Like that was an interesting detail, because if you really look, when they were just kind of there, they all didn't really look like they wanted to be doing it.
Yeah, what,
you know,
and like the
it was
woman,
interesting.
The female judge, like I'm wondering what she's actually thinking, because she like cried after. What was it? Was it after his speech that she cried, or it was like after after Abby performed?
She teared up after. No, she teared up after she agreed to.
Yeah, so I'm thinking like, is that
agreed to be a porn star? Basically, is she
actually upset about it or something? Is that like, is that tear?
Or was she just moved? I took it as almost like she was moved, that she was so stunning and brave to.
Yeah,
comply.
Like that's a possibility. But it's also maybe like she's also part of the system, and she is sad to see her to agree to it, but she has to play along with it.
She has to put on with the face. Yeah, I mean that's a possibility too. Yeah. So
this is because I'm sure all these people were manipulated into their positions at this point. It like seems everything is like that. Like Bing, I don't even know what they do this for at the end of the day, because it seems like they're just all alone in their little, like they get a nicer apartment or whatever. They get this view of what is supposed to be outside, but it's like, ultimately, do you get anything out of that? That's why everybody feels so empty.
So what about the detail at the end where he still has the penguin? Like he doesn't have the papercraft version that she gave him, or the origami version, but he does still have a 3D one.
Well, it's a nice. Is
that supposed? Is it supposed to be like maybe just an inkling of hope that there's still some? Maybe there's something still in him that could still be redeemed, or could still salvage this, or
he still holds on to that, like. He values that connection that he had, at least.
Yeah, the beauty that was.
It was something real. He had the whole speech about it. He just wanted. He wants something real to happen, you know.
And not this fodder.
It's such a good speech, but
it's a great speech.
But the way it ended up, very sad.
It's so tragic. It's that, but it's like it's the poignant. It's making a point. You know what it says, that even that was commoditized. Even that was used for whatever higher ups are.
Yeah, and I mean Abby's
control.
Now. It's like these people getting these better positions, better than
they're
what
still miserable.
Their living conditions. But yeah, she looked miserable even in the videos that she was part of. So
they were still equally miserable. Like, and that's the thing. So it's like,
I mean, she's weirdly like. The weird porn videos she was in, where she's just like she looked miserable, but that's part of that weird genre. It's like,
it was his weird. It was his, but it was Wraith seemingly being the one that was doing it too. I mean, maybe it wasn't.
I heard, you could hear him like
it was
on the camera,
and it was just like, he was the one on the camera, and it was just like focusing awkwardly, like super close on his face, and all we heard was just him grunting and thrusting the whole time, and it was like. Okay.
She's not look happy at all.
Nah, she's probably drugged up out of her mind.
Yeah, it's the medication for that. Like it's literally like oh, I don't want to do this at all. Okay, let's medicate you into
Yeah, it's horrible,
messed
horrible.
up. Great episode though. There's so much.
Great. Yeah, there's a
Even
lot.
even just a
There's a lot
little
there.
bit in the beginning where it was just a little love story. I was like, that's cute.
Yeah,
It
it
was
is
for a
nice.
moment. It
Yeah,
was just a nice little love story, and they really get you with the cute music, and it's like,
the
oh, this
cute.
is a
Yeah,
cute story. And it's
yeah. The editing and the cinematography. Like I even commented that one of those early shots of it was like the upside down part of the elevator. Awesome. I
mhm,
always loved it when they had that shot because it was just great.
yeah, yeah. But it takes some twists and turns, and it's
Hmm.
ultimately sad. But the beginning it was sweet.
Yeah, it was good. That
And
was
then
a
you still feel bad
much better episode
for the
than the first.
crush. Still feel bad for the crush that
Yeah, you still felt bad for her. Yeah, because she's still somehow she seemed like she was still holding on to something, him, or but she seemed like disappointed at him by the end of the episode. But that means that she's still there's something
well,
there. There's something that
just like
she's
how he was sad to see Abby go on to do this, and
yeah
she was sad to see him in the same position, pretty much.
yeah
But that's like a tough spot to be. That's like a nice little story that I feel like people can relate to. It's like when you
yeah
have a crush on somebody, but they pay you no mind because they're focused on this other person. It's
yeah.
like so
Oh yeah,
sad.
trust me, that was like the entirety of my high school experience.
Yeah,
And college actually now that I think about it. It was actually probably more in college than it was in high school now that I'm thinking about it. So
but it's gonna be especially
yeah,
tough in their environment where it's like they
where
got
it's like you
nothing but
literally have
this,
to yeah,
and
and you're
like
in like
the
the
one little
same
bit of
cube.
hope. Yeah, it's like, ooh,
Yeah.
if I could, like, I have eyes for this person. And it's like if I have a person with that mutual feelings in this little environment, will make
Mm.
it a little better and not just miserable. And I was like, no,
Hmm.
he only cares about her, so okay, and I'm just gonna bike by myself forever. That's cool. Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, night and day, much better than the first episode, and that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I
There's
feel
all
like
this so much more to get out of
they
it.
should have they should have started with this one. I feel like this one would have been a smash hit. Maybe they were like, it was too much criticism of Britain's Got Talent, implying that I don't know.
But
But
they really like so much into that like uh, competition, reality, or talent competition. You know how they present everything, even all the judges
yeah,
having those like distinct personalities. Where
yeah,
the ones that the hard ass, and he's like, and then
yeah,
the wraith is just like, he's alright.
yeah. He's like the hip guy, but he's also the porn producer. So it's
Sleazy
like,
guy. Yeah.
hey, take your tab off, sister. Except without the cigarette, but yeah.
And the woman just like, I guess a warmer presence, but then that one singer, they were like,
Yeah.
you were utterly useless or something. You're basically
She's supposed to be like
useless.
the empathetic person. She's like, well, we should hear him out.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And yeah, and then
Yeah.
just the lines, the way he delivered it, even in the ad where he's like, "You're not good, you are incredible," and
Yeah.
and then
Then we also have. Don't forget about sleazy neighbor, sleazy neighbor who is just like
he was
so on
something
board
else.
with
Yeah,
so on board with the abusive behavior to the fat people. He's so on board to the porn. He was watching it while he was biking. I mean,
he was having all the Kool-Aid that they were providing.
yeah, yeah.
You bought into all of it. The
He drank all the
the
Kool-Aid.
ginger drank the Kool-Aid for all the merch and the avatar upgrades. He loves that stuff. He lives for it.
Yeah.
And he loves the programs. He's just cheering people on. Yeah.
He's
go
just
for it.
he's even the ones that aren't as good. He's like, yeah,
Go
I'm
to
all
the
on
Wraith
board.
Babes. Take off
Yeah.
take off your top. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's like,
And, but yeah, wow, good stuff.
yeah, really good episode. Really thought provoking for sure.
Yeah,
So
and then it was only one more left of the season. A little 3-episode
Yeah.
season. So we'll have that next week.
There you
Come
go.
back for that. All right.
Cool.
What video would you recommend our viewers watch after this one?
You should go check out a review of Godfather Part 2.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, classic. I
little
I
dark.
couldn't think of any. I couldn't think of anything, but yeah.
It's weird when you watch
There you
Black
go.
Mirror. It puts you into this whole other like mindset. It's like
Yeah.
nothing else matters
Yeah.
right now. This is
Yeah. Yeah.
this is all I'm thinking about for the rest of the week.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
Like,
Thanks for
what am I
that.
gonna say? Go watch our Jungle Cruise review. What does that matter?
Yeah.
What does that even
Yeah.
matter?
It's like this is just oh man.
Kill me. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to our podcast feed. Like the video. Leave a comment. Hit the notification bell. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and like us on Facebook. Tarqaron TWO. Oh,
There was a part of me that hoped.
Actually,
Oh yeah, there was a part of me that really hoped he went Rambo on them. I thought that would have
just
been
wanted to-
been awesome.
he said to kill a bunch of people. I'm like, why are you gonna kill a bunch of people?
Yeah,
What are you gonna kill these?
I don't know. You just start stabbing. You just start
stab
stabbing the
people?
people.
I'm
Yeah,
sure they
yeah. Just
deserve
start stabbing them in the throat. Yeah. Yeah, but then they just would be replaced by other people, by the same people or different people in the same position, because the higher ups are the ones that were doing it. But anyway.